tuning back in. So I figured I'd do another 5. You know, it's just the amount of time I have the last few weeks has been so little for this type of thing. So I appreciate your patience as I get through less stuff, but that's okay. I'll try to do an Addict Find Friday, but tomorrow on Saturday. So a Saturday seller find, I guess. This is going to be numbers 89 through 85 of my Attainable Collection of Envy 100 list. Some of these are pretty self-evident cards and athletes, but I won't have to explain, but I'll go through some of the accolades of a couple of the others. All right, let's get started. Number 89, 2001 Upper Deck Tiger Woods. I have this one right here in a PSA 8. It's a great pose, great card. Yes, he has a 1996 Sports Illustrated for Kids card, which is great. I tried to avoid SI for Kids if I could. If they had another card that I really liked that was also considered a rookie card, and I know I'm going to get complaints in the comments, not a rookie. It's fine. This is what many collectors consider his rookie card, even though he has the 96 Sports Illustrated for Kids. I'm going to get so many angry comments now. But this is a very easy card to come by. I bought this raw, I don't know, pretty early in the pandemic, late 2021, early 2022, for like 15 bucks. I graded it myself. In a PSA 8, you can get this for like 15, 20 bucks. So grading it did me no good, but that's okay. I wanted it. So I just pulled that off my shelf. I want to throw a quick plug in. People are often asking me about what are the cards on my shelves, and there is a third shelf up above. I took a picture of it all. I'm putting it in my newsletter on Monday and offering up a handful of the cards for sale. Make sure you subscribe to the newsletter so you get that on Monday, junkwaxhero.com. Link is in the description to this video. So that Tiger card, PSA 10, goes for $200 right now, roughly 200 bucks. At its peak in 2021, it was selling for $3,500. And I did find, like, PSA shows that there was a sale for $8,500 at one point. And when I found that one, it was actually like 10 or 12 of the cards. A bunch of them were PSA 10s, so you can't really count that. But yeah, $3,600 during the pandemic for one of these, and now it's worth 200 bucks. Just a bad sense, I think, because there wasn't a whole lot of things graded, or far fewer cards graded at the time. There wasn't a great sense of population reports, like how many PSA 10s were there at that time. Probably felt like there were a lot fewer. All right, before I get to number 88, this video is sponsored by The Penny Sleeper. Make sure you check out thepennysleeper.com for the best supplies in the industry at amazing prices. I use them, sending cards off to PSA, DNA, and PSA to get graded. I actually have some other cards here that I'm sending off to PSA. Great top loaders, great semi-rigids, great mags, or one-touches, however you call them. Get 10% off using my code JWH on your first order. Again, link is in the description of this video. So number 68 is Mario Andretti, and I'm not a racing fan, so you're gonna have to bear with me here. I'm using his 1969 Panini Campione card, and it's fitting that Andretti is he's from Italy. He's lived there until he was 15, I think, if I remember correctly. And Panini stickers are Italian. So 1969 Panini is, I believe, considered his rookie. I'm probably going to get a comment from Kin from Bean's Ball Card blog here. Honestly, if I were doing my own, the solo video for this card, I probably would have consulted with somebody like Kin, because he's an expert in racing. I am far from it. I don't actually have any interest in racing, but I have an interest in great athletes, Mario Andretti being one of them. One of the greatest of all time. I started reading through all of his accolades, and I was like, I don't even know what half of these mean, so I'm not going to talk through them. You've heard of Andretti. You know he was the greatest when he was alive. So it was an easy choice, and he's not the only racer in my top 100. He just happens to be the first, I believe. So let me know who I should have other than Andretti. Let's see if I have it. Throw that in comments. For this card, a PSA 1 goes for about $100. PSA 9, $2,300. So you can, another very attainable card. Low grade, low value, low cost. So that's an easy one for me to add to my collection at some point. Number 87 is Jimmy Connors. Jimmy Connors, actually I thought I was going to use 1981 Panini Sport Superstars, but I was researching this. He also has a 1976 Americana Munchen Sport card and a Nabisco Sugar Daddy. I didn't like either of those. I went with the 1976 Panini Goofy Sport card. This one has very low pop. Only my notes say 5 have been graded by PSA. I think that's right, but it's pretty easy to find. There are a couple raw on eBay right now. You can there's not one on COMC, but I was able to find several that have either sold recently or are up for sale right now. Both PSA graded and raw and others. So it felt, even though it's low pop graded, it felt easy to find relatively. So Jimmy Connors, 1976 Panini Goofy Sport. There's one raw right now for $500. A PSA 6 just sold for $159 though, so I don't know why you'd buy a junky raw one for that much unless you're desperate, because there aren't a whole lot of them out there. Jimmy Connors still has, because he played for so long, the men's title. And I messed up last week. I said the most, Arthur Ashe was the first black tennis player to win certain things. And a lot of people I said he was the only. A lot of people very correctly corrected, and said Serena Williams did that, etc., Venus Williams. So yeah, men's, Jimmy Connors still has the most men's titles, 109. He had 8 Grand Slam titles in his career. He was number 1 for 160 consecutive weeks. That's a lot. And he finished 5 straight years at number 1. He was amazing, and I still remember, I wasn't a big tennis fan yet in 1991, but I still remember his run to the semifinals of the US Open. And he was pretty old, as tennis players were back then, as tennis players went back then, to have made it to the semifinals. And I think he beat Patrick McEnroe in the first round after being down like 2-0 and a break or 2 in the third set. Stormed back to win that match. It was amazing. So Jimmy Connors, great card. So that's number 87 on my list. Number 82, I actually don't need to tell you anything about Cal Ripken. The card is his 82 Topps traded. Also, very easy card to find. I want this autographed, and I've seen this at card shows. I want it dual graded, though. I want a PSA dual grade. When it's just a PSA trading card, an authentic autograph, you can get it for a few $100. If it's dual graded, I don't know, $400 or $500 maybe. PSA 8 goes, not autographed, goes for $150. A PSA 10 goes for $5,000 to $7,000. I'm not going to go through Ripken's accolades. No need to. You guys all know. You know how amazing Ripken was. I'm not going to do that. Same thing with Dan Marino. Number 85 is Dan Marino, 1984 Topps. PSA 8 goes for $125. A PSA 10 goes for $3,500. I had a friend reach out to me recently saying that he had 25 Dan Marino rookie cards. Asked me, he said they were all PSA 10s for sure, even though none of them have been graded. And so he asked me for advice on grading them. And I said, well, you should pick out the best ones and grade them. You might get a couple 9s if you're lucky. And he said, no, these are all 10s. They're all gem mint. And I said, probably not. And I was trying to be nice. I'm trying to be really nice, but I also want to be respectful of his money and tell him if you're spending $20 to $25 per card, you gotta expect reality here. And he refused to accept that. So I don't know if he's graded them. So 84 Topps Dan Marino, $3,500 for PSA 10. I'm gonna stick with an 8 or lower myself just to get it in my collection. That is my style, collector. My newsletter yesterday was PSA 9 or bust, basically, or PSA 10 or bust, talking about modern cards and needing to get a 10 on everything. Hope you check that out. Make sure you subscribe to my newsletter. Make sure you subscribe here. Next week, I'll try to get out 84 to 80 on this list. I actually enjoy this style, even though I was really looking forward to doing one video a week on each card. I think I'll keep going with this for a while. So let me know what you think too, and I'll be back tomorrow. Hope you guys have a great weekend.